Hello, it's Friday the 5th of May. I'm Simon Whitney and welcome to issue 56 of Travis Smith's Alternative Insights. This week we're looking at the role of regulators in M&A transactions. When the president of Microsoft says that the EU is now a more attractive place to start a business than the UK, British entrepreneurs might wonder what went wrong with the UK's post-Brexit regulatory strategy. They might also have been concerned to hear last week's announcement that the government is about to give the UK's antitrust regulator even more powers. Brad Smith's comments, a reaction to the UK Competition Authority's decision to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, a leading publisher of video games, drew a swift and sharp rebuttal from the UK government. And of course, Microsoft, which says it's planning to appeal the decision, has an interest in piling on the pressure. But it is certainly true that regulators in Britain have become increasingly important in the M&A market, and their reach extends well into private markets as well as public ones. For example, acquirers are now getting used to the UK's National Security and Investment Act, which came fully into force in January 2022. One of the most significant reforms to the UK's regulatory landscape in recent years, the regime requires mandatory notification and pre-clearance of deals in certain specified sectors. Unlike foreign direct investment regimes in other jurisdictions, the UK rules do not include any requirement for the acquirer to be a foreign person. Instead, the mandatory regime focuses on the sector in which the target business operates. Early signs are that around 1,000 deals will be notified to the regulator each year, and the government has already shown that it's willing to intervene in deals in a variety of sectors, including defence, semiconductors, energy, aerospace, and communications. It's completely prohibited some deals, but has also been pragmatic in agreeing remedies in others, for example, restrictions on the sharing of information and the maintenance of strategic capabilities in the UK, even when politically sensitive states are involved in the transactions. Importantly, despite initial concerns that the notification process could be cumbersome and time-consuming, deals which do not raise material national security issues are being cleared quickly. Filings are generally accepted by the government within a few days, with clearance received within the initial 30 working day review period. The new rules are generally a timing and process issue for the typical private equity transaction, rather than being of more substantive concern. Private equity firms have had some other causes for concern, though, in relation to the most recent Competition Authority activity. The Competition and Markets Authority has doubled down on the EU's controversial approach to parental liability. Private equity investors with, quote, decisive influence, close quote, over portfolio companies have been fined for the anti-competitive behaviour of their investee companies, even in the absence of wrongdoing on their part. The regulator has also been concerned that leveraged acquisitions in certain sectors, most recently children's social care, might make firms less resilient to changes in the trading climate, with consequences for vulnerable stakeholders. The regulator has not taken any enforcement action, and there is no evidence that private equity ownership in these sectors negatively affects competition in the more traditional sense, but this is a concern that needs to be watched. Another strategy that has come in for greater regulatory scrutiny is the buy and build or roll-up model, which seeks synergies by bringing similar businesses together. The particular nature of the UK's merger control regime gives the CMA significant discretion to investigate such deals. Regardless of the level of target turnover, the UK's share of supply test enables the CMA to take jurisdiction over transactions where the purchaser group and target have a combined share of 25% or more of any plausible description of goods or services in a, quote, substantial part of the UK, close quote. The CMA has considerable discretion in how to apply this test. In a recent case involving private equity acquisitions of vets, its local area analysis found that areas with populations of 100,000 people represented a substantial part of the UK for the purposes of the CMA's jurisdiction. Careful analysis is therefore required before any deals can be consummated, even if the impact on competition may seem insignificant to the parties involved. UK regulatory authorities are therefore increasingly involved in and willing to intervene in M&A deals. and building in proper consideration of their rules at an early stage of the deal process has become vital. But it would be wrong to say that the UK is distinctive in this respect. Governments around the world have an increasing appetite to monitor deal activity. For example, the new EU Foreign Subsidies Regulation, or FSR, which came into force at the beginning of 2023, essentially operates as another form of foreign investment screening. In addition, the European Commission has actively encouraged individual member states to introduce or expand their national foreign direct investment FDI regimes, and many have done so. Such regimes in the United States and Australia are already familiar hurdles to many firms, and they can cause particular headaches for private equity firms who have sovereign wealth investors. So the further significant changes to the UK regimes that were announced last week follow an international trend favouring intervention. And while the UK CMA's recent cases demonstrate its appetite to protect nascent players in the digital world, it's certainly not alone among global regulators in having such concerns. Increased regulatory scrutiny of M&A deals is therefore here to stay. Some will worry about that, but others will welcome the role of strenuous regulators in promoting open competition and protecting a business's most vulnerable stakeholders. Of course, regulatory decisions have to be taken reasonably quickly, have to fall within well-defined jurisdictional parameters, they must be evidence-led, and they must adopt a pragmatic approach to remedies. But if designed and operated correctly, such interventions can make a market more attractive to both investors and entrepreneurs. Thank you for listening. If you would like more information on this topic, please check out our website, where you can also sign up to receive further editions of these insights, or you can drop me an email, simon.whitney@traverssmith.com.